There was an elevator accident once every 5 days. The fire department had to rescue people trapped 13,000 times. There were 49 cases of people falling down elevator shafts. Officials claim the city's Department of Buildings is doing a poor job of inspecting elevators.
Listen, I want to tell you something. You be careful when you take an escalator. A simple mistake could be deadly. It's happened. Andrea Day's in Midtown now with some tips for you. Andrea.
Well, John, we all ride these every day without really thinking, but don't take it for granted that everything's safe.
And she started yelling, "It bit me, it bit me."
He was trying to get his leg out, but he was screaming.
We're at the bottom, and I'm on my knees, and I'm getting strangled.
It took just seconds. A look away, a glance at a watch. A simple ride turned into terror.
They're like man-eating sharks.
Brianna Bubeck was just 4 when it happened, but the memories haven't faded, and the scars a constant reminder.
I was up against the railing of the escalator, and then I felt this really sharp pain in my leg.
As I pulled her up and pulled her around, I noticed that her leg was wide open and there was blood splattering all over.
She says she started screaming, but the escalator didn't stop. Her daughter's leg had been virtually eaten by the jagged stairs.
She was kind of like fading in and out, and she just kept saying, you know, "Mommy, please make it stop hurting." And she just started saying a little prayer. My husband, meanwhile, was trying to find the other part of her leg. So he was running up and down. He must have run up and down about 9 or 10 times trying to find pieces of her leg.
Thankfully, they were able to save her leg. But Keith Price wasn't that lucky. He lost a toe to the metal teeth.
It grabbed me, and then I couldn't get out for a long time.
I thought the sole of the shoe, the top of the shoe, had been caught. But as I looked down, I'd noticed that his actual whole foot had already went down into the escalator.
The two were riding down an escalator inside a Bronx department store when the little boy cried out for help.
I was screaming. I tried to pull out myself, but I couldn't.
I was frantic. I was trying to keep calm. I was trying to help him pull his leg out, or at least get his foot out the sneaker and let the sneaker go down, but it was already too late.
Dozens of people heard her scream, but she says no one could find the emergency stop button. Her son was trapped all the way to the bottom. The longest ride of your life?
The longest. The absolute longest. And then finally this man appeared out of anyway. He was just a customer on the second floor. He ran downstairs and he pulled one of the escalator steps. He just pulled it out and the escalator stopped.
But the spikes had ripped through his sneaker, and doctors were forced to amputate his toe. Attorney Gail Koff.
Well, this escalator had been reconfigured. It had been a down escalator, and it was changed into an up escalator, and because of that, the changes, it wasn't as safe as it should have been.
Price's foot got caught between the moving steps and the side. Other accidents happen when people stumble or fall. Most injuries are minor. Some will be more severe, and the victims are often children.
I don't think people are aware of what can happen.
My face was going right into those metal steps.
It happened to Allison Klein. She was at Port Authority when her coat got tangled in the stairs.
And as the coat was wrapping, as the steps continued going down, it was pulling me down this way, and therefore I was, being strangled back like that.
She says she tried to take her coat off, but it was buttoned all the way up to her neck. And as the escalator went down, she was getting closer and closer to the steel spikes.
It was rush hour. The bodies were just piling up and falling on top of me.
It's estimated that there are 20 injuries on escalators every day nationwide. That's more than 7,000 a year. Some result in death.
We now know the name of the woman who was strangled on a D.C.
Just last year, a 37-year-old woman choked to death riding an escalator in Washington, D.C. Police don't know if she fell or was sitting on a step,
But they do know Glenda Weeks didn't stand a chance when the drawstring of her jacket got tangled in the metal teeth.
To get on an escalator, don't hesitate. Move briskly, grab the handrail, and stand in the middle of the step.
Ray LaPierre is a safety expert.
Stand away from the sides. The steps are moving when the handrail are, and you don't want to scrape along the sides. If you have a small child, hold their hand. And as you get to the top of the stairs or the bottom on a down escalator, prepare yourself to move quickly through the exit, stepping off and moving away.
His advice may seem obvious, but it didn't take long for our cameras to spot kids at serious risk. And remember Allison Klein. She made it out unscathed, but her shearling coat was ripped to shreds. And like the others, she's still haunted by memories of the steel stairs.
It's really difficult to know that there's still escalators out there right now doing, like, just waiting for another kid to be injured again.
Now here are some basic safety tips. Always stand in the center of the escalator, avoid the sides, and watch out for loose clothing and shoelaces that could get caught. Hold on to your kids, and remember, the emergency stop button, which you could probably see right over there, is located either at the top or the bottom, but right at the end of the escalator. We're live in Columbus Circle. I'm Andrea Day, Fox 5 News. Rosanna, back to you.
Thank you, Andrea. Two people had